It's Stephanie Ferrara, your Empowered Creativity Coach. As a Christ-centered business branding coach, I help women in the early stages of their business to develop strong foundations for a thriving, God-driven business. Is that you? I hope it is, because today's show is just for you. Hey, it's Stephanie Ferrara, and today we are talking about procrastination. Not usually a subject we enjoy talking about, kind of like yesterday's subject of fear. However, today I am excited to talk to you about procrastination because I want to share with you my top 3 tips on getting rid of it. Like, how do you stop procrastinating in your business? So, number 1, make a plan. Don't keep it all in your head. When you keep all of the things that you need to be doing in your head, it's just so easy to get overwhelmed, to forget important things, and that just leads you to a really super easy way to allow distraction to come in, and you get way off track. Like, Facebook looks really attractive when you're overwhelmed by all of the possible things that you could be doing right in that moment. So that is number 1, is actually make a plan. Decide what has to happen. Write down all the things that are rolling around in your head and evaluate them. So that leads me to number 2, which is schedule what you have planned. When you make a plan and say, I need to do my website homepage, there's some updates I need to do there, I need to create an email sequence, I also need to connect my buy now button to my sales page for my offer, and then, oh yeah, I have 2 client calls that I need to do, and I need to follow up with these 3 people. Okay, that's a lot of things, and a lot of these things, some of those things, like, may not be the most fun things. So you want to really utilize your calendar and block out time for all the things, okay? And I'm not saying, like, put it on your calendar and say, this is work time. No, be very specific. But before you start blocking time on your calendar to do the work, you need to make sure that you've actually taken time to prioritize the work. So don't forget, this is a good one, a little bonus tip here. When you're prioritizing things, it can be very easy to put the things that you really enjoy as first, but those may not be the most important things for the day. One of the practices that I like to do is kind of lay that plan before the Lord and say, you know, these are all the things that I know I need to do, but Holy Spirit, what's number 1? What's the order? And ask Him to give me my to-do list. You've heard me say that before. But really, what that prevents me from doing is putting off the things that are priority, that are important, but maybe they're not my fun things. They're not the things I really enjoy doing. So just don't forget that not liking a particular task, like bookkeeping or reaching out for some networking opportunities, like, that doesn't mean it's not a priority. It's important in your business that you keep on top of those things, that you're expanding your network, that you are keeping track of the money going in and out of your business. So I'm definitely preaching to myself on that one. But so that number 2 tip is schedule what you have planned. What gets scheduled gets done. Now, number 3, hold yourself powerful. This is a big one, especially when we get overwhelmed. So what do I mean by hold yourself powerful? Hold yourself powerful. You are smart. You can figure out hard things, and you are resourceful. You can figure things out, okay? Do the most important thing first. So if the most important thing is connecting that buy button to the website, that may be a harder task, especially if that's not something that's fun for you. You get overly or easily overwhelmed by technology. Trying to figure out how to connect to those things can be a bit overwhelming. Make sure that you schedule time to do it. So you actually put on your calendar, I'm going to work on that buy now button, right? Okay. So I'm going to set up the offer in whatever your payment service is, whether it's PayPal or Stripe or wherever that is. You're creating your offer in Kajabi, wherever that offer button is, where they're actually going to do the checkout. Okay. So you go and do that, right? You can figure this out. You can figure out all the steps. I promise you. And so don't let yourself get overwhelmed by that. But the same thing can happen for some of us who maybe, like me, I really am not a writer. I don't consider myself a writer. So taking the time to write a 5-part email sequence, I've got to plan the right time for that. So that really is my tip here, is holding yourself powerful. And the bonus tip on this one is really to know what your energy level is and your focus level is at particular times of the day, so that those harder tasks are done when you have the most energy and the most focus. That's really key, because the fun things, usually you can do those on about half brain power when you really enjoy something. But if you don't, or it's just a harder task, you're trying to figure out some technology, make sure you schedule that when you are most alert, most refreshed, and ready to go. For some people, it's first thing in the morning. Other people, it's later in the afternoon, when you have that moment when your body, just your natural cycle of the day, you're most focused. Make sure you schedule those harder things then. Also, I would say, before you allow yourself to do the fun things, sometimes you do have to get the important, harder things or not fun things out of the way. So on days when I am going to be doing some bookkeeping, I know that has to be first, because I can get very lost in the other things that I enjoy doing and not ever get back to the bookkeeping part, which was actually supposed to be my number one for that day. So I have to make sure that I don't get to do the other things until the most important thing gets done. Set time limits for yourself in this whole scheduling process. Set time limits for yourself. If you know that it's something that you probably are going to get a little overwhelmed and frustrated with, or it's just not one of your fun tasks, then set a 30-minute time limit or an hour. Then take a 15-minute break. Then go back to it. But just make sure that you don't set so much time in between. Like, don't task switch between that. If you really need to get that one thing done, don't do something else during that 15 minutes. Like, just take the dog out, get a drink, get a snack, something, come back to it. It's just a matter of being able to give your brain a little bit of a break and then come back to the same task. So try not to task switch, especially on those harder things. Just to recap for you, number 1 is make a plan. Don't keep it all in your head. Number 2 is hold yourself powerful. You are smart. Oh, sorry, that was number 3. Number 2 is schedule what you have planned. So what gets scheduled gets done. And then number 3 is hold yourself powerful, because you are smart. You can figure it out. I have faith in you, and you should too. There is nothing that cannot be figured out. If this was helpful for you, but you really aren't sure how to figure out what is most important, you aren't sure how to prioritize those things for your business, what is the most important thing that is an income producing activity that could really move that needle forward in profit for you and in how you show up for your customers, send me a DM, or you can schedule a call with me at empoweredcreativitycoach.com/schedule, and let's just chat it out. I can help you put together that plan and really help you get on the right track, so that you are spending your time, whatever that amount of time is that you have for your business in a day, you're spending it on the right things. Again, if you want to go deeper on this with me and you need a little bit of help trying to figure out how to prioritize, shoot me a DM and ask to schedule a call, or just go ahead and go to empoweredcreativitycoach.com/schedule and go ahead and get your call booked on my calendar. I'm happy to help.